welcome to SFR 750, Philosophies of Education. This will be only the second time that I'm going to be teaching this course entirely online, and so I just want to say a few things about that, and I want to kind of structure this in three different areas. A, that it's only my second time doing it all online, and I'm still learning as I go. Second of all, I want to talk a little bit about the purpose of the course, what we are going to try to do with philosophy of education rather than philosophies of education, which I'll get to in a second. And then finally, just a little bit about the overall structure of how the semester is going to go. So, firstly, I have to admit to not being a big fan of teaching online. We at Missouri State and all over the country are continually being shoved to do online courses, and there are parts of it that I get, mostly the question of access, convenience, those kinds of things. My problem really at its core is that I think that the only way you can really teach another human being is to develop a rather intimate relationship with them. And that is tough online. I did this last year, and will once again do a couple things that hopefully will help us get to know one another and will provide an opportunity for me to get to know who you are by seeing you. And so we'll talk about that in just a minute. Certainly there are going to be some bumps along the way as I continue to learn how best to go about doing this kind of teaching. And I expect that you, for the most part, are probably much more adept at this technological stuff than this old guy is. I very much appreciate you being patient with me and with us as we work out the bugs and get to know each other and see what we can learn and see how we can change as the semester progresses. So there's that. So as to the purpose of the course, the actual title of the course is Philosophies of Education. If I really thought it was worth the time and the energy to do so, I would change the name of the course, and I would simply change it to Philosophy of Education. And here's my reasoning for that. The implication of a course entitled Philosophies of Education is that it is a survey of the historically held traditions in philosophy that have informed education in very important ways. And that kind of course really, as far as I'm concerned, looks more like a history of philosophy course. Certainly we are going to do a little bit of that, and you will see that in the, I believe, second assignment when I have you read an article that's titled Why Teachers Behave as They Do, and an assignment related to that, wherein you will look at some of these traditional kinds of philosophicalisms. However, ultimately, we're going to do that just so I can try to make the argument that one's philosophical understandings do, or at least should, when examined, direct the ways that we act in the world, and most particularly, for our purposes, the way that we teach other human beings. And we'll get to more of that when we get to reading that article and discussing it online a little bit. However, the real purpose of this course is for us to examine what philosophers actually do. That is, why would one, in any endeavor, but maybe very importantly in teaching, want to develop a philosophically oriented kind of mindset. And that will be very much taken up in the readings that immediately follow the first one, Why Teachers Behave as They Do. What I hope that we get by the end of the semester is that philosophical work is A, doable, is B, not as complicated as philosophers have made it out to be, and in the end is ultimately maybe the most practical kind of work that any teacher can do in any content area. I would say that there's a good reason for the perception that a philosophy class in education might be a whole lot of BS. And the reason for that is that historically speaking, philosophers, particularly in the last 200 years, have become very adept at floating off into the ether with their ideas and their ponderings and their questions and their abstractions, and yet never come back down to earth to help us understand what these ideas actually mean in actual lived experience, and again, particularly the lived experience of teaching another human being or numerous human beings. So that's our goal. We're going to try to work our way there slowly, and I think that maybe by the end of the semester you'll have a different perception of philosophy, a different perception of yourself in regards to doing philosophical work, and hopefully you'll see its great practical value. So, probably enough for now on the purpose of the course. As to its structure, you will find online, of course, a syllabus, and then you will also find online a very tentative weekly schedule of assignments, readings and assignments, projects, that kind of thing. And then you will see on that schedule at around week 6 that I'm going to ask you, by way of indicating a particular educational interest that you have, to let me know that interest, and we are going to gather up into small groups of 3 or 4 or maybe 5. And in those small groups, we're going to take up each that particular interest. So, just as some examples from the first time around that I did this, last fall I taught the course, and we had 5 or 6 different interest groups, including such things as philosophy and technology in education, philosophy and project-based learning in education, race and education, gender orientation, sexual orientation and education, and so forth. Once we gather up into those groups, then I will schedule Skype conversations with those groups, and of course this will potentially get very tricky depending on schedules and all of that stuff, but it worked out last time, and I think it'll work out this time. We'll just have to get it all figured out. And then I hope to meet with each individual group to chat through maybe some articles, or maybe we're going to decide on a book to read together. And we will periodically meet through weeks 7 through 14, 7 through 13, however it works out. And we will take up conversations relative to philosophical work in regard to whatever interest area it is that you want to pursue. There is lots of very, very interesting stuff to read and think through concerning such things as the philosophy of technology. So I'm very much particularly looking forward to that period of the semester when I will actually get to meet you somewhat face-to-face. We will have some, what I hope will be insightful and interesting and engaging and maybe pissed off discussions about these matters, and see what we can find in terms of what philosophy might say to us about those interests. You will see also on the Blackboard site a folder that has some readings there. You will see a folder that has some assignment guidelines. You will see the schedule. You will see on that schedule some tentative due dates, and let me talk about that for just a second. And I'll take this up a little more in my second and only other video lecture. And when I give you my take on some of the philosophicalisms, which, by the way, I won't do until after you post your assignment, so I can see what gaps need to be filled in. And again, I'll say more about this then, but I have come to the conclusion that I really don't like due dates. So, those due dates are very soft due dates. You will see a place for you to submit the assignments, and if you don't get them in on the stated due date, that's fine. Just get them in anyway. When you post these written assignments, I will look them over, I will make comments, and I will send those comments to you with potentially an invitation to revise, rewrite, and resubmit that assignment. Which leads me to the second point I want to make relative to the schedule and the structure. I have also concluded over all the years of my teaching that assigning a grade to a human being for their performance, for his or her performance, is potentially, okay, not potentially, I believe to be the worst thing that has ever happened to education. So you will see that I have set up each assignment to have a point value total of 1. And I'm doing that with a purpose. I want you to begin thinking a little bit about the impact of grades and what its underlying meaning is and what its results are. And I want us to view these assignments as not a one and done kind of deal. I think that students should be afforded the opportunity to revise and rewrite as often as they want until that writing assignment gets to be in good shape. So as you submit these assignments, whether they're on time or not, I will give you feedback and let you know whether I think the assignment is good or whether there might be some things that you should do to make it a little better. We will also be utilizing the online discussion board, and in the spirit of not really liking grading, I will also, you will see nowhere that there is a minimum number of posts for each discussion board that you have to make. Quite honestly, I don't have any interest in tracking that. And I don't know that the number of posts to the discussion boards is as important as the substance of those posts. So get in there when those discussion boards go up. Give us your thoughts about the readings or the assignments or whatever it is that we're chatting about. Make them substantial, and it'll all be good. You'll also see that as the discussion board is going on, I might very much be kind of out of the picture a little bit. And the reason for that is that I'm probably a little afraid of over-influencing the discussions that you guys are going to have. Now, I certainly will dive in periodically and maybe redirect us or clarify any issues that I think need clarifying. But you will see that my presence is maybe a little less than others who do this kind of teaching. I certainly will be observing. So look over the weekly schedule, check out the syllabus, check out the assignments. You will see one assignment that I have added this time around that I think is a very interesting one. It's also wrapped up with a lot of university politics as well as probably personal politics, and that's all okay. And that assignment is a cultural autobiography. For that assignment, you will see that it really has no due date, even though the other due dates are kind of fake. But this one particularly, I would like you to work at, think through throughout the course of the semester. I expect it'll be something that you'll find important, and that may very well evolve over the course of the semester as we read and chat and meet by way of video conference. Okay, finally, I guess for now, is that I will be posting the second video. I think I have it on the schedule for week 2. I will be waiting to see your philosophical-ism PowerPoint assignment that you'll see there that's supposed to be submitted sometime that week. So I expect the video lecture on the isms may not be up there till maybe near the end of the 3rd week, as I take a look at how you're doing with that ism assignment. If more of you get it in earlier rather than later, then that video will be posted sooner rather than later. I am very responsive to emails. I'm not very responsive to my office phone. So if you have any questions, I expect maybe particularly early on you may have questions about how the course is going and how it's structured and that kind of thing. The best way to do that is to send me an email and I'll respond fairly quickly. And if I don't, send me a scolding email reminder, because I do have a very advanced version of the forgetful professor disease. So you got to stay on me. Okay, I think that's it for now. Welcome aboard. I am really looking forward to the semester. I know a few of you have had me in class before, so this may be a little bit of an extension of what we did in your undergraduate class, so we'll see. Please remember, this is a graduate level course. It is one of the higher level courses that you might ever take, and the expectations are equally high. And so read closely, get on the discussion board, work diligently at those papers, hang in there, because it's tough reading at times. I get that, but I do think that if you hang in there, you will get a lot out of those readings, a lot out of our discussions, and a lot out of our work together this semester. So until I actually see you, or run into you on the discussion board, I wish you the best, and I hope everyone's semester gets off to a fantastic start. Cheers.